I almost got canceled. Wow. Let's see if I can get this one right. Hey, it's Eric with Jazz Wealth Managers. Man, I'm trying to plug some of the holes here. I feel like I got blown apart. I've had some people come after me on YouTube. You know, out here we're humans, and we sometimes say something, and maybe it's a little off. Thankfully, I'd made a video about Social Security recently that made all the facts straight. But I was talking about something, and if you caught my last video, you know it was a little off. I said 30 years based on Social Security for their earnings, but it's actually 35 years. So thank you for everybody who still gave me a thumbs up. If you want, you can give me one on this one. But what I want to talk about in this video is more on the case of, I just said more on, well, maybe that in itself will get me something. Hey, wow, it's just getting knocked around here. But the idea of this video is to really talk on the idea of if something were to happen to a spouse of yours in retirement. So when it comes to financial planning, that is probably the worst topic to talk about, but it is reality because anything could happen in your life. And if you're married, this could be a big derailer of your financial plan if you have not prepared for it. So you have to think through this. So instead of trying to go with what I've got up here today, I'm actually going to use the screen a little bit. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. So if something were to happen, the biggest thing you've got to look at is Social Security. Social Security is one of those that is going to come into play. And right here on SSA.gov, it breaks it all down for you. So you could receive reduced benefits as early as age 60. If you're disabled, you can get them as early as age 50. Now, there's a lot of information that comes into play here. But so if your spouse were to get more money in Social Security than you, that's one option. Or if you're age 60, then you could actually take theirs and then later on get yours if that's the case as well. So there's a lot that breaks down here with this and really understanding the specifics with it. You can actually, even if you were divorced, if you were married at least 10 years, you can actually get your spouse's or your ex-spouse's Social Security as well, which is an interesting one there. But then from there, really for the widow or widower, so at full retirement age or older, you can get 100% of the deceased worker's benefit amount. Now from there, the widow or widower age 60, up to full retirement age, you can get 71.5% to 99%. And then the widow or widower with a disability, again, can start at age 50. So there's a lot that comes into play just with Social Security because you are going to lose one or the other. If you had Social Security and your spouse had Social Security and they pass away, well, if yours is more money, then it makes sense just to keep yours, but you are still going to lose theirs. You're not going to get both of them during those years. Now, another thing that you want to look at, and this is quite interesting, it's when it comes to tax filings. So when it comes to taxes in general, what we've got to look at is the tax brackets, because the way this is going to work is if you're here, actually what ends up happening is the year that you become a widow, that year you are still able to file married filing jointly, which right over here, you know, you've got your tax brackets are much more favorable for somebody that is married filing jointly than if you were a single filer. So make sure you're realizing that, because just look right here, the 12% bracket for the 2022 federal income tax, 10 to 41,775 is taxed at 12%. But if you're married filing jointly, you can go 20,550 all the way up to 83,550. That's a lot different on that 12% tax bracket. So that's going to be one thing with there. What I also want to look at, though, is an option that you could get where you could continue to actually get that married filing joint status. So if you're looking right here, if your spouse were to pass away, you get it the first year, but then after that, you can also get it for the next 2 years. So if they were to pass away 2 years following the date they passed away, then if you haven't remarried, you must have a dependent child or stepchild, not a foster child, who lived with you all year, and you must have paid over half the maintenance cost of your home, and you must have been able to file jointly in the year of your spouse's death, even if you didn't. So if that comes into play, that allows you at least a couple years to file as a widow or widower, which then would allow you to get a married filing jointly. So that's something that you really should be thinking about, because this is one that could come into play when it comes to financial planning and the fact that your taxes could be much higher and your income could drop if you were to lose your spouse during retirement years. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch more FinTips videos, click here. Be sure to like and subscribe also.